Hello bead kids. Today we are making your name with 6x9mm pony beads using a peyote stitch. If you would like to learn to do your name or letters in straight rows, see our YouTube video on straight row names. This pattern is laid out on the beadkids.com bead board on the peyote and brick side. The other side is straight rows. I'm starting with 6 feet of string, and I'm stringing the first 2 rows of the pattern onto the string. In this case, it's 23 beads, 12 for the first row and 11 for the second. And I string the beads around the string, and then I bead every other row onto the wire. When you pull your string tight, it lines up rather quickly. So the string is holding the beads on and the wire is going through every other bead. And I have a little end cap that I will put on. Pull my string tight and you'll see the first and second row line up offset like bricks. The first 3 rows on a peyote stitch is what is critical and a little awkward just at first. Once you do it once or twice, it's quite an easy pattern. When you turn on the right side, you just add a bead and then go through a half a bead. That's basically peyote. You add a bead and then you go through half a bead. Peyote also generally, you're doing your pattern backwards, so the right side is down, and I'm using the max name is upside down while I'm following the pattern. And then when you're all done, you'll turn it over and it'll be right side up. So you follow your pattern, the brick pattern, add a bead, and then go through half a bead. To make it a little more easy, I am going to tape my wire down to the tabletop. Just get some masking tape and tape the wire down. It'll hold it in place rather than fiddling with it. Add 1 bead and thread it through half a bead. So I started with about 5 or 6 feet of number 10 string. On one of the 2.5-inch tapestry needles tied to the end of the string. And a wire. So when we get to the end of the 3rd row, that's where we will tie our knot. And then it will secure your project. But until we get to the end of the 3rd row, you just have to be careful not to pull your strings out, pull too tight. Okay, so here's my last bead, and it's loose. But I'm going to join up with the first part of the string and pull it tight. Make sure all my beads are lined up tightly. And then do a square knot to secure it. Right over left, left over right. This case, left over right, and right over left. Pull it tight. And we'll work the tail of our string into our project later on. So this time our string is in the correct direction, but you go through the half a bead, and then you add a bead. Tie my needle back on. Speed things up. Add a bead, go through half a bead, add a bead, go through half a bead. So we go from the right to the left and the left to the right. Some people like to hold it in their hands and stitch it from the back side and then the front side, the back side, and the front side. You do the best you can. This is actually a very fun project, and it goes fairly fast. So this is the name Max. You turn it over. When it's finished, there's our Max going side to side. And here's our Max going up and down the same process. It'll just be a narrower name. Here's both of them when they're done. So be creative, like, subscribe, and share.